So it's been a while since we got back from the feast, but show of hands, who can look back on the feast and go, that's exactly what I expected? Now either y'all aren't participating or you're just like me. I didn't expect that. And that's kind of what I'd like to talk about today is expectations. You know, when our expectations become fleshly, or we expect something in particular, something to be a certain way, and then we get to that point and it's not, it can kind of wreck your outlook, your attitude. I had to deal with this a little bit this week, but if we keep our expectations in the spiritual, you know, we'll be on the same page as God is. Not that we can know exactly what he's going to do, but, you know, I was sick for the first 2 days of the feast. That came out of absolutely nowhere for me. I didn't even realize I was getting sick until probably close to midnight of the first night. And then I thought, well, it's just an upset stomach or something. And I waited till about 4:30 in the morning before I messaged the guys and pastor to let them know I couldn't give my message because I'd realized I just wasn't going to be able to. But, you know, sometimes our expectations are off, and we, you know, the disciples back in Jesus' day they had expectations that, you know, they were expecting him to restore the kingdom at that time. And it didn't come about. So I suppose their world was rocked a little bit then too. You know, what happened to me this week, and it caused me to have it was just a really high stress situation. I went in to pick up a piece of equipment, and I was anticipating a nice big place to load, and everything was going to be flat level, easy. My overhead clearance was high. I got a permit for that, and the state just dropped the ball on it because I was trying to go down roads that I couldn't even really get my pickup down. Well, I couldn't do it, so I had to pick my own way out of town, at times backing away from high lines because I would have tore the lines down had I gone on the wrong side of the road, you know, and it was just the enemy trying to get to me. He even sent a guy on a bicycle to talk to me at the stoplight while I was sitting there waiting, trying to distract me from what I was doing. But, you know, at the end of the day, I was so stressed out. My head was just about ready to explode. And, of course, you know, I shut down early and prayed, and, you know, things were better. But a lot of that attitude that I was getting came from what I was expecting before I got there, is my point. But, you know, the thing that we can rely on, well, number one, in this world, you know, Acts 14:22 says we must enter the kingdom through much tribulation in this life. So we can expect that. We well know that. But his word also says that we're to, you know, what our reward is and our expectations of that. That's what will keep us, and we know it's true. That's what keeps us going. And you know, if we can focus on what he says in his word is true and what's coming at the end. Romans 8:18 says, For I consider the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory that is to be revealed in us. And Isaiah 54:17 says, no weapon formed against us shall prosper. So no matter what you're going through, if you expected it or not, you've got what God's got in his word. And I just wanted to go back to Revelation 21. It's so awesome that we get to spend eternity with an awesome God that gave his life for us. And when you look around at what any other religion has to offer, people are sacrificing their babies on altars and, just different crazy things like that. And our God sacrificed himself for us. And to be able to spend eternity with someone who is true and just and, everything will be perfect because he's perfect. But in Revelation 21, this is a little bit of a physical description, I guess, but we know how we haven't experienced the perfection and the goodness and we don't know anything but corruption in this life. So, we can read about it in his word. We know it's true. But I just wanted to read a description of the New Jerusalem and how beautiful that will be. And even at the sea of glass, imagine that. When you're standing at the sea of glass. We've never seen anything like that before. And it's just going to be so glorious. And this is stuff that we can expect. We can count on it because his word tells us. So I'm going to start here in verse 11 in Revelation 21. It says, having the glory of God, her brilliance was like a very costly stone, as a stone of crystal clear jasper. It had a great high wall with 12 gates, and at the gates 12 angels were written on them, which are the names of the 12 tribes of the sons of Israel. There were 3 gates on the east, 3 gates on the north, and 3 gates on the south, and 3 gates on the west. And the wall of the city had 12 foundation stones, and on them were the 12 names of the 12 apostles of the Lamb. The one who spoke with me had a gold measuring rod to measure the city and its gates and its wall. The city is laid out as a square, and its length is as great as its width. And he measured the city with the rod. 1,500 miles its length and width and height are equal. And he measured its wall, 72 yards according to human measurements, which are also angelic measurements. The material of the wall, pure jasper, and the city was pure gold, like clear glass. The foundation stones of the city wall were adorned with every kind of precious stone. The first foundation stone was jasper, the second sapphire, the third, that's a tough one, chalcedony, the fourth emerald, the fifth sardonyx, the sixth sardius, the seventh chrysolite, the eighth beryl, the ninth topaz, and the 10th Christophrase, the 11th jacinth, and the 12th amethyst. And the 12 gates were 12 pearls. Each one of the gates was a single pearl, and the street of the city was pure gold, like transparent glass. I don't know how you would really even take that into, just imagine all that in your mind, and then the fact that we have all the other things to look forward to that I aforementioned. That no more tears, no more pain for eternity. And we can expect this, brethren, because his word says so, and we will not be disappointed. Amen.